Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I hope you've had a good week, and we'll have a wonderful Shabbos. This week's Erev Shabbos video to our Torah is sponsored by Abe Brody in memory of his father, Rabbi Joseph Brody. Alav Hashem, whose yortzeit is observed today, the 3rd of Adar. May his neshama have an aliyah, and we thank Abe for the sponsorship. We also take a moment to concentrate ourselves, to think about the entire Jewish people, to daven that this coming week should be a good week for the entire Jewish people, especially those living in the land of Israel, especially as the talk of escalation of even war with Iran increases. We daven that Hashem should protect the land of Israel, everyone living there, and the entire Jewish people. This week's Parsha, Parshas Terumah, contains the commands to build the Mishkan, the tabernacle, and all of the kalim, the holy items that were placed in it. And the first kli, the first vessel that is discussed in the Torah is, of course, the Aron, the holy ark that contained the two luchos, the two stone tablets, upon which the Asteres Adibros, the 10 Commandments, were written, given at Har Sinai. And the Torah describes that the Aron, this holy ark, was actually consisted of 3 interlocking boxes: a golden box, then inside of that was placed a wooden box, acacia wood, and then inside of that another inner golden box, and the 2 luchos placed in that. Va'asu Aron atzi shitim, bitzi pisa o so zahavta hormi bais michus titzapenu. You should make a wooden ark and cover it from inside and outside with these boxes, smaller and larger, with gold. And our sages were fascinated by the symbolism of this construct. For it is understandable why the outside needs to be gold, so it is beautiful, so everyone who sees it is inspired. But why does the inside need to be lined with gold? No one will see that. To this, the Gemara answers in many midrashim, it is to teach the importance of the spiritual quality that a Talmud Chacham, a Tzaddik, all of us should strive to be Toho Kaboro, that our inside should match the outside, that it is not enough, in fact, it is wrong, to present ourselves as gold, to outwardly express our commitment and dedication to Torah values, but to inside not really believe it. Our inside should match our outside. Not just the outside is gold, the inside should also be gold. That is what the Gemara says. However, if that is what the lesson of the Aron is supposed to be, then we can ask a question, and in fact, other midrashim, not as well-known midrashim, ask, well, if so, what is the purpose of the middle wooden box? What does that symbolize? What lesson does that teach us? If the Aron is meant to teach us that we are meant to be consistent through and through, inside and outside, then let it be all gold. We're 100% consistent from our inside all the way to our outside. Why have different layers, gold, wood, gold? Why have that inconsistency? Why have the differences within the ark holding the luchos? And one fascinating medrash answers as follows and says, Uma zahav shunoi lefia eitz. And just as gold is only beautiful relative to the wood, gold is meant to be an adornment on other things on wood. It is a decoration. Kach hatzadik or kach yetzer tov. So to the righteous, or the yetzer tov is only noise, only beautiful lefi hayetzer hara, when it is relative to the yetzer hara. In other words, the Medrash is saying that if the gold represents Torah perfected beliefs and behavior, the wood represents that which is inside of all of us, our imperfections, what is humble and low, our Yetzer Hara, our negative tendencies. And in other words, even if our inside is gold, that means the values that we dedicate ourselves to, that we are striving to achieve, even if they are gold, we are committed to the Torah. And even if the outside is gold, meaning we present ourselves and try to model and try to teach to the people around us the golden values of Torah, but there is always going to be in every human being some gap, some inconsistency. We cannot be gold through and through. Part of us is just plain, regular wood. And that is the middle box. But what is so interesting is that if we read the Psukim carefully, it is clear that the wooden box is the primary ark. Va'asu aronat seishitim, make an ark out of wood. That is what will carry the luchos. You will merely vitsipisa cover it inside and outside with gold. Hashem does not need perfect beings. He does not need gold. For that, he has angels. That is not what humans are supposed to be. Humans, we are wood. We are not perfect. We are not golden. We should strive and set our goals and our beliefs and our values to the golden standard of the Torah, and we should try to promote that and represent that outwardly, but that is not who we are. What makes us unique, each of us personally, what makes us humans in general, is our imperfections, is where we are not perfect, is our slight inconsistencies. But that is the essence of who we are, and that is the essence of where we will serve Hashem. And that is where we can, like an eitz, like wood, like a tree, grow. Gold is perfect, but it is unchanging. And those two things go together. Wood is not as expensive, is not as beautiful, is not as perfect, but wood is something organic. Wood is something that can grow and be beautiful in a totally different way. When we think of who we are, there are many layers to us, but the most important layer vis-a-vis our relationship with Hashem is our true honest selves, is seeing where we need to grow, where we want to grow. Hashem doesn't need us to be golden. He wants us to serve us as simple, humble trees. The wooden box carrying the luchos, that is the primary ark, the wooden box. And we should not hide that. We should not be ashamed of that before Hashem. That is how He made us. That is who we are. We are humans, but it is in the wooden box. It is in our imperfections that we serve Hashem, that we bring Him nachas, that we carry the Torah like the ark into the world of human lives and human experience. And that is the primary place that we serve Hashem. That is who we are. We should find that box, that ark inside of us. We should place the Torah there, and hopefully we should grow Eitz Chaim Hi, like the tree of life, which is what the Torah can give each of us. Good Shabbos, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom.